Your choice should be respected. Nobody should force you to have children, and I completely understand, because for me, freedom is very important. So if somebody is trying to impose anything on me, it's not gonna work. And so people shouldn't make you it shouldn't make you the bad guy just because in your heart you don't have the desire for a child. So why should we force you to have a child? But at the same time, I've also seen other women who are shaming those who want children. So yes, we need to respect your choice, but at the same time, you also need to respect the choice of those who want children, and you shouldn't shame them. And I know it's not everyone, and I'm talking specifically to those who are doing this. Wanting to have children is, it's a personal choice. Most women will want children, and they should never be shamed for that. And so we need to respect the choice of those who want children, and we also need to respect the choice of those who don't want children. And as women, we should stop fighting, and we should stop doing throwing the blame at others, because life is tough enough. So if we have to do this game, where are we going? We need to support one another no matter what choice we are making. Now, I want to talk to those who want children but are afraid. So if you are afraid, and that's the only reason you don't want to, you're not ready, or you don't want to have children, you need to do your research. Is what you're telling or thinking real? And if it's real, what is the real risk? So I've seen many women hating one another just because some wanted to have kids and others do not want kids. And so I want to make this video to try to explain the side of the women who don't want to have kids, so that we can all understand and be kinder to one another, and to be patient with one another, and to be compassionate to one another. Hi, my name is Amina. I'm a life coach, and I'm here to offer another perspective, to give you some tips, and to answer some questions you might have. So if you have questions or video suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you like what I do here, please subscribe, like, and share, and help me spread the word and help more people. So like I was saying, today I want to attempt to give some reasons why many women don't want children. And this is really important, because I'm tired of seeing the hate among women, because some want children and they are disregarded by those who don't want children, and those who don't want children, they kind of looked down by those who want children. So I think it's not fair. Everybody has the right to make their own decision about their lives and to live the life they want. So if somebody doesn't agree with the fact that you want to be a mother, or if somebody doesn't agree with the fact that you want to be a mother, your choice is your choice. Nobody has to tell you what you should do or not. And I think that's unfair to be judging one another because of that, because we have bigger fishes to fry. And so so I want to take this opportunity to give some reasons. And for those like me, I have a child, and I'm not sure if I want a second one, or if I don't want, I don't know. But so for the women who want children, or who are mothers already and who still want to have some children, or for those who don't want children. And for those who don't want children, so I've gathered some information that I got from all kinds of places, from women who don't want children, and so I put everything together, And that's why I'm making this video. And so if you have more reasons, please leave them in the comment section below. I will really appreciate it because I'm always looking for ways to understand people's perspective, and that's why I'm here. Okay, so one of the reasons, so I would say in no particular order. So one of the reasons, so number one is some of the women who don't want children, they feel like they don't need children. And so they're living their lives. They don't have, they don't feel a particular need to have a child, and they're just living their lives. Everything is looking fine, they have the job they want, they have the partner they want, and so they just living the way they feel like, oh, this is what I want my life to continue to be, so I don't need to have children. And so for a woman who wants to have a child, it can be difficult to understand that, but you just need to keep in mind that we are all different. We don't know what's going on in each person, what they think, how they think. What we just need to understand is that we have all kinds of people on the planet. So some people will do what the majority of people do, and for those who don't, that doesn't mean they're not normal or they're selfish or whatever. They just them, and they have their perspective, they have their vision for their lives. So we shouldn't shame them just because they're not doing what the mass is doing. So if they feel they don't need children, that's their choice. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I found. So reason number two is from what I heard, some women don't want to have children because they don't want to be tied to the wrong guy. And so I would think that in this situation, it's more like maybe they don't believe that the right person for them exists, or they are waiting to find the right person to have children. So even for those women, we cannot really say they don't want to have children, because maybe that's something that is temporary. But yeah, so what I saw, what I heard, what I read is some women don't want to be tied to the wrong guy, which I totally understand, because when you have a child with somebody you're not going to spend the rest of your life with, and you need to juggle the schedules and okay, when are you going to have the child? And if that person is immature, you're going to end up dealing with that person for at least the next 18 years. You see, so I totally get it. So number three reason that I've seen is some women think that they're going to have less sexual drive. And so because when you have children, your body goes through a lot of transformation. You can get bigger, or for some women you can maintain your weight, but most of the women, they're gonna gain weight, and your body, your belly is growing. So if you don't take good care of your skin, things are gonna change. And when you deliver the baby, it goes through a sensitive part of your body where all the sensation are. And so you never know what's going to happen. So for most women, when they deliver the baby after 6 weeks, so that's what my OBGY, I think that's how you call them. So that's what she told me, that most women can go back to being intimate with their partner after 6 weeks. So in my case, when I got my daughter, I felt like my body was completely different. It was like something that I didn't manage anymore. And I'm not saying that this is this is the case for everyone. For some women, it lasted like 1 week. For some, maybe 2 years. I don't know. In my case, I felt back in my body after 1 year. But I'm not saying that to scare you. It's just that you need to be aware that because your body is going through transformation, some things are going to change. And so you need to, once you deliver the baby, you have to be careful with the way you treat your body if you want to make sure you go back to who you were, or if you step into a new person, but at least you were at peace with that person. And so so I totally get that some women, the sexual drive can be different because your body feels different and you have to go back to it and to feel yourself again. And the timeline for that, it can be short or it can be long. So it depends on the person. Okay, another reason, so number 4, it's that women don't want children. They say it's a lot of work. So when you take care of a baby, when you just deliver the baby, and you go back home, the baby is crying. You have to take care of the baby for at least 3 months until you feel like, the baby is starting to become a person on its own. So in my case, it was 3 months. And for many women, from what I heard, it was the case as well. But, that's just I won't say random number, but it can depend for everyone. And so so after 3 months, that's when the baby starts to be a little independent, if we can say that. You're still taking care of the baby day and night every time. And so when the baby cries, you have to be there. When the baby needs to be changed, you have to be there. When you need to take care of the baby, nourish the baby. And so we can say that this can be balanced by the love you have for your baby. Otherwise, if you didn't have that love, you would give up because it's a lot of work. But for some women who really love babies, it's like it's magical. It's this is the dream. And for other women, it will be like, oh my God, especially for those who have been through the depression, postpartum depression. So the experience varies depending on the woman, but for the first 3 months, for sure, you're going to have a lot of work. And, the baby getting on a sleeping schedule that is really regular so you can sleep more, it's a lot of sacrifices. But I would say for most women, it is compensated by the love they have for their children. So reason number 5 is they feel like they can lose their freedom. So just like I was saying with the previous point, it's a lot of work. And now everywhere you go, because you are fully responsible for your child, you have to think about everything. If you need to go out, you cannot just take your stuff, get up and leave. You have to think about somebody who's gonna take care of the baby. If you want to travel, you cannot do it on a whim like you used to, or maybe you didn't, but you know what I mean. You cannot do things the way you used to do. So now your freedom is a little limited because you have to take this baby into consideration no matter what you do. And so this is very important. But like I was saying before, the love you have for your child compensates. So most women, they will be tired. Sometimes they're gonna swear and they're going to be mad. But at the end of the day, a smile from that baby will make them think like, okay, you know what? Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's a lot of sacrifices. But that kind of little moments there with the work. So before we get to the next point, I wanted to let you know that I have a one-on-one coaching service. So if you're interested in working with me, you can reach out using the link in the description box and we can see how we're gonna make it happen. I also have a blog where I talk about the same kind of subjects. So if you like to read, you can give it a try. Thanks in advance. So something that I heard, the next point is really for women, career women, that's how I'm gonna call them. And they were saying that, if I feel like if I become a mom, I will have to be 100% a mom, and which means that I cannot work on the side, because for me, I'm doing things 100%. I cannot be 50% here and 50% there. And so they were saying that, yes, I have to choose between being a mom and having a career. And in my case, I prefer to have a career because I feel that I have something that I need to do. And given everything that I said before, it can be very challenging to do all those things when you have a baby. And so, yeah, I think that's a very good point. And like I was saying, we're not here to judge, but just to understand other people's perspective and to stop the hate. Okay, so 100% commitment. And for those women, so they when they think about having a baby, they also think about, I'm gonna need a career. I'm gonna work on something. And if I continue this way, I will be a mom and I will have a career. And so I cannot do 50% here and 50% there. I can only do 100% in one of those. So either I'm 100% a mother or I'm 100% working. And so for them, it was difficult to choose between those two, because with their character, they always give 100% and they cannot give half and half. And so the next point this time is about the mission. And so like I was saying, some women feel like they have a mission, and if they become moms, they will have a very challenging time to manage all the sacrifices you'll make when you have a baby and going fully on their mission. And so the difference between this point and the previous one is those women previously, they want to work and they also want to have a family. They have to choose between working and having a family, because they cannot do 50%. They have to go 100%. And for those women that I'm talking about now, about the mission, is I have a mission, I have to do it. And so I know having a baby is not going to help, so I have to sacrifice the baby. And they feel in their heart that this is a mission, and so I have to go for it. So I hope that makes sense. And so point number 8 is the body changes. So some women don't want to have children because of the body changes, which I totally get. Like I was saying, your skin can be, you can have stretch marks if you don't take good care of your skin. And even some women who took really good care of their skin, they still ended up with that. You can gain weight that you're gonna have a hard time releasing later. Your body can be impacted. Your private part can be impacted if the delivery is pretty brutal. And I personally know two women who have been in this situation, and it was very difficult. And so, because of all those changes, you never know. And so for some women, they're satisfied with their body, the current body, and they don't want to take the risk of having a baby and, being injured or whatever. Who knows what can happen. And so for them, it's a risk, and they prefer not to take that risk. Point number 9. For some women, they don't want to have children because they're scared of having a sick child. And so we have seen many women having, baby who needs special care, special needs children. And it's not a way to say that the special needs people don't deserve to live. It's not about that. But when you see how difficult it can be to take care of a sick child, a child that you would have to take care for the rest of your life. So for some women, that's too risky. And so just to have a child that has autism, or a child that cannot see, or that cannot hear, or that can, all kinds of things can happen. They can have a sickness that we cannot heal, or the child cannot be independent. You will always have to keep them with you. So I watched a lot of documentary where the people followed families who took care of sick children, or children who couldn't be independent even after growing up. And it was very difficult for the parents. So I totally get it. If you really paralyzed by the fear of having a sick child, I totally understand. It's very difficult. And so when you check your life now and you imagine your life in 5 years, where you have the obligation to take care of that sick child, it's very difficult. And so we have to understand that. And so my last point is, for some women, they want children, but they don't want to bring children in a chaotic world. Yes. And so, because we have already many children who don't have their families because they were tortured as children. The parents were not available. Drug addicts, all kinds of reasons, or even for children who have lost their parents at a very young age. The climate change, no matter what you think about that, the wars, all kinds of chaos that we see in the world. And those women were saying that, why would I bring a child here? This is not a good place. I'm already struggling with anxiety. I'm already struggling, seeing children dying of hunger on the other side of the world. So why would I bring a child to something like that? And so I would agree now. It depends on your desire. If you're really worried about that, you have a good reason. And if your desire for a child is more important, is bigger than that, then you make the choice. But yeah, that's one of the reasons some women don't want to have children. And so, as a recap, reasons why some women don't want to have children. Some women don't think so. Some women think they don't need children. Some women don't want to be tied to the wrong guy. Some women are afraid to have less sexual drive. Other women are afraid of the work and the sacrifice. Some women are afraid to lose their freedom. Other women cannot do being a mom and working, and so they have to choose. For some women, they feel they have a mission they need to accomplish in the world, and having a child is not help. It cannot help. It's a lot of work. For some women, they're afraid of the body changes. Others are afraid to have a sick child, and some women are afraid to bring a child to this world they consider to be chaotic. And I want to add, so I think it's part of one of those points, but I want to add this. Most women, at some point, they feel like they want to have a child. This is a natural desire. What I heard some people call baby fever. But I don't like this term, because it feels like, baby fever is just like a trend. No, this is natural. This is something that comes from nature. And so most women will feel this desire to have a baby. But this is not the case for everyone. Some women don't want to have children. They simply don't feel the desire. When they see children, they're not moved by children. They're more like, okay, no. And so we also have to respect that. Yes, it can feel strange to know that a woman doesn't have that desire, but like I was saying, we are all different. It's not because most people do things a specific way that for those who don't do it this way, those people are not normal. No, it's just that we have many kinds of people on the planet, and for sure some will want to have children and some won't want to have children, and we have to respect both. So my conclusion here is, if you want kids, you should never feel ashamed of that. Yes, we hear more and more women online, celebrating their singleness and their kids freeness. If you want kids, you shouldn't be ashamed of that. Don't hide. If you want to have kids, it's good for you. It's good for society, because if every woman stopped to make babies, who's gonna populate the country? So at least somebody's doing the work. And for those who don't want children, I understand that your choice needs to be respected, and I understand that for years you have heard always people trying to convince you, and so in this case I'm talking specifically for the women who don't have the desire, because some women don't want kids for other reasons, like I was saying in the video. But for those who don't have the desire, they're not interested, because in the other cases you can find some women who actually would like to have children, but they're scared because of the reasons that I talked about in the other video. But for those who don't have any desire, so your choice should be respected. Nobody should force you to have children, and I completely understand, because for me, freedom is very important. So if somebody is trying to impose anything on me, it's not gonna work. And so people shouldn't make you it shouldn't make you the bad guy just because in your heart you don't have the desire for a child. So why should we force you to have a child? But at the same time, I've also seen other women who are shaming those who want children. So yes, we need to respect your choice, but at the same time you also need to respect the choice of those who want children, and you shouldn't shame them. And I know it's not everyone, and I'm talking specifically to those who are doing this. Wanting to have children is, it's a personal choice. Most women will want children, and they should never be shamed for that. And so we need to respect the choice of those who want children, and we also need to respect the choice of those who don't want children. And as women, we should stop fighting, and we should stop doing throwing the blame at others, because life is tough enough. So if we have to do this game, where are we going? We need to support one another no matter what choice we are making. Now, I want to talk to those who want children but are afraid. So if you are afraid, and that's the only reason you don't want to, you're not ready, or you don't want to have children, you need to do your research. Is what you're telling or thinking real? And if it's real, what is the real risk? So evaluate the real risk and talk to people who know what you're looking for, who can advise you in the right direction. Because many women who have decided to not have children because they were scared, when they get to the age of 50 or something where they can no longer have children, they just regret it. And I'm not saying it's going to be the case for everyone, but yeah, if you know you actually want children but you're scared, Don't let the fear stop you. Go do your research, go ask questions, and then you can decide. But don't decide and you haven't done the work, because you can regret it. It's better to reach the age of 50, you have no children, but at least you know you have tried your best, you have done your research, you have done something, rather than reaching the age of 50 and then you're here, oh, why did I let fear stop me from doing what I wanted. Okay, so that was my little conclusion. My challenge for you today is, I want to know why. I want you to pay attention to why you feel triggered when you hear that a woman don't want to have a child. So that would be great if you could check yourself and see and dig to understand, because it is your right to feel strange when a woman doesn't want to have a child. But what is the reason? So that's my challenge for you. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you like what I do here. And if you have questions or video suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. So my question for you today is, so do you know other reasons why some women don't want to have children? If so, please leave them in the comment section, and it would be great for me to know them. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope this video was helpful. In the meantime, I wish you a good week, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.